problem is, the blessing is, I haven't reached you. Still not satisfied. Why don't I feel so many, but we have the answer. Godlywood Self-Help.
Saturday 2nd and Sunday 3rd August at 2 p.m.
For you, woman, who wants to fulfillment.
And a very to you with our program Real Talk from Woman to Today's Friday. And today I would like to do a reflection on what we were speaking yesterday. Yesterday we were speaking about the Proverbs 31 verse 18 where it says, she perceives, let me put it here, she perceives that merchandise is good and hemp does not go out by night. Today I want to give continuation to that. I would like to ask you, since we are experiencing some technical problems, if you can please let me know whether or not you can hear me, you can see me, because lately we have some issues with the platform we are using for the program. So if you cannot hear or you cannot see, just write in the comments. I'll be seeing it in here. In the meantime, I will continue, okay? Now, as I wait for your comments there, I would like to remind you that all the episodes about the Virtuous Woman, you can find it in our YouTube channel at UCKG Hong Kong under the playlist The Virtuous Woman. You can find all the videos we have about the woman. Is not a perfect woman, like this woman is not out of, not perfect. You and I is a person and on with her life, does she becomes virtuous? Virtuous is being worked on us every day as we have a relationship with God, as we stand our where we could be better, where we are doing so great, then work on ourselves, and then indeed we become this virtuous woman. So I can see here that everything is loud and clear, video okay, so let's continue. So I want to speak a little bit more about this part of the verse where it says she perceives her merchandise, that her merchandise is good, and her lamp does not go out by night. I want to speak about she perceives her merchandise is good. So yesterday I was sharing a little bit that I used to have these inferiority complexes. I was a person that I saw no good in me. I didn't like, many of you already heard me speaking about this. I didn't like my name. I didn't like my nose. I didn't like my hands. I didn't like my ears. Basically, I didn't like anything about me, even my name, to the point that I didn't even like my name. So I always compared myself with other people. I always thought that other people were more privileged than I was, and I could never be like them. But But there is, I don't know if you have heard, there is a saying that the grass is greener on the other side, right? So we always find that what other people have, what other people, how the other people, how can I say, how they look is better than us. When we have these eyes towards ourselves, we always think that others are better than us and we will never amount to anything, right? Now, I want to speak where my complexes started. I want to start there because, everything has a start. When we came to the world, we didn't have complexes. You were not, you who have, or you are experiencing this problem, or you are still struggling to overcome this problem, know this: you were not born with this problem. This problem came to your life as uh, as time passed by, as you became a teenager, as you became a young a youth, a young adult, and then you carry on with these feelings, with this idea of yourself, wrong idea of yourself. But no one is born like that. God, you know, in by His mercy, when our parents they came together and we came about this world, God made us perfect the way we are. Everybody has a quality. Everybody has something good about themselves because we have the seed of God inside of us, right? The problem is, as we were getting older, we started to hear comments, right? Uh, People sometimes mocking the way we walked or mocking the way we spoke, the way our teeth were, or criticizing. In my case, I used to hear this, that my mother used to say, "Oh, you have short legs." You know what I mean? So all these started to create inside of me a wrong idea of myself. And you know what? When these people made these comments, a school or sometimes even my mother, when she was trying to take the best out of me, sometimes she would speak something negative. Not that she thought I was like that. I don't believe that. But because she wanted to take the best out of me, she wanted to make me a better person. Then she used the wrong words, wrong tactics, and that affected me emotionally inside. Obviously, she did not know that, but that started to shape an idea inside of me. So, for example, when I used to go to school, um, I was very shy in the classroom. I would prefer to stay way in the back. Anyway, when I was in school, they seat us by alphabetical order. So S is towards the end. So I was happy that I was always there. But if the teacher, for some reason, would say like this, "No, Sonia, you come forward and this person go back," that would be like for me the worst thing ever, because I didn't want it to be noticed. Okay, so I started to be this shy person, and I remember when the I used to sometimes the teacher call us in front to answer a question or to resolve mathematic uh, uh, thing, equation. Then when I did not know how to do, my teacher also was very severe with me, and she used to insult me, sometimes beat me, pull my hair. um, so in fact, I that that person, that inferiority was created by the opinion of other people, by what other people said. And the problem is, I believed it. I allowed it in. And that's where I started to do things in order to, you know, at least be a little bit like the other girls, or feel like the other girls. You know, one thing I used to do, I didn't know my value. And what I used to do was, my mother used to give me the best she could for me, for my school, right? Books and pens and all these things. And I remember I didn't have many friends, girls friends, you know what I mean? I always, or I was alone or I was with the boys, because the girls, I don't know, they snob me. Anyway, so in order for me to buy their love, I used to give the things that my mother used to buy for me. And then I would create another problem, because when I would go home, my mother would ask, "Where is this?" "Oh, I don't know." And then my mother would give me the 5 commandments. You know what I mean? So other times, if I would come home with something that was not mine, my mother used as well to be very angry. So, but cutting a long story short, I was always trying to buy the acceptance and the love of people. When I could not by giving what I had, then it would be doing something for them. That's why I felt very comfortable with the boys, because the boys would flirt and I would flirt with them. It would make me feel a little bit better about myself, temporarily, obviously. But that's how I that inferiority became worse and worse. And I remember my cousin, she used to dance ballet and play piano. And then in school, in order for me to feel accepted, a sense of belonging, I used to say, "Oh, I dance ballet." People, I don't even know how to move properly. You know what I mean? Only side to side. I cannot dance. But I used to say these things, what? Because I wanted to feel accepted. And maybe you have passed this stage in your life. You're no longer a child. I'm talking about my childhood. Okay, reminding you that I got to know Jesus when I was 14. So these issues, they finished the time I knew God. And I'm going to speak more about that. But up until then, I was trying to, you know, to compensate the inferiorities I felt by buying people's love or doing something for them to be appreciated, to feel like I belong somewhere. So that is the problem that I face. But maybe you are already an adult. You don't do these things like I used to do. You have grown out of that. But maybe your complexes about yourself, okay, uh, lead you to make other wrong decisions in life. For example, many times you cannot say no to people when you know that sometimes you know that you are under an abusive relationship. Your family takes advantage of you. Your family abuses of your goodness. They use blackmail. I often say this. Your family uses blackmail for you to keep sponsoring them, giving them money, so that you forget about yourself and you try to conquer their acceptance and love by giving. Some, maybe you do even this to your child. You have this complex because you are not there with them, because obviously reasons, right? You are here to support them, for them to have a better future than you have, right? And then you try to compensate and try to have their acceptance and their love by giving, 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 giving. And you forget about yourself. I remember I was speaking some time ago with a lady that she came to speak to me about her child. Her child was always asking for money, 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 money. Give me money, give me money. Never called, never say hello, never do anything. In fact, the children that she was looking at after here, that she only gave, of course, the time they cook for them, but they appreciated her more than her own child. And the child uh, kept asking. I said, listen, I often say this, by the way. I told, listen, you are not a cash machine. That you put a card, you put a pin, you call, right? You dial the number there, and then you ask, oh, I want $500. I want to withdraw $500. And there you go and you give $500. You are not a cash machine. So sometimes this attitude, or the attitude of family members, become abusive, but because you permit that, because you want to feel accepted by them, you don't know how to say no. You downgrade yourself all the time. When people speak, when your family members, they start to badmouth you, you become hurt by them so much. And this, what I want to speak, because you know why it hurts you. You know what hurts you? Because you have not yet known the power. But let me put it like this: you do not know yet your value before God's eyes. Read the Bible. The Bible says you are precious. You were wonderfully created, made. How can you allow people to treat you like you are nobody? So when you understand your value, the value you have in God's eyes, when you understand you have a relationship with God, you develop this relationship with God, you will learn your value. And then people will no longer be able to abuse of your goodness. People will no longer be able to take advantage of you, whether be it friends, family members, spouse. No, people will not do this to you because you know your value. And I'm not talking about you being arrogant. No, I'm not speaking about this. Is you being above what they say of you and what they try to make you feel. They will not change unless you change first, of course, but they will not change the way they treat you. They will not. Don't expect that. But if you change their ill treatment or the disrespect or that slave, I don't know if I can say that, they will stop to enslave you because you now know your value. So if they speak evil about you, if they gossip about you, if they badmouth you there in the social media, you don't care because you know who you are and whose you are. But of course, for this to happen to you, you have to go back and learn to appreciate yourself. Learn to look and see the good in you. For example, you have a horrible past. Maybe you went through abuse. You are here. You are an overcomer. You overcame that. You are a fighter. But maybe you only look at you, I'm weak, I'm weak. But you are there fighting for your life. You are here working in a foreign country. Doesn't it reveal something about you? But what is lacking really for you to become this virtuous woman is for you to believe in yourself, for you to have this, to become a new person inside of you. The old be done with. You know, when I came to the church and I started to have a relationship with God, you know what I mean? That dissatisfaction for life stopped. That pursuit for happiness in things and in people stopped. It stopped because God became the core of my life, the strength, of my life. He became like, our back, the core, the backbone. God became my support. So whatever people said about me, whatever they did to me, it did no longer affect me inside. So for you to stop comparing yourself with other people, which, by the way, when you compare yourself to other people a lot, you know what grows inside of you? Envy. You start to desire what is someone else's. And envy makes you make decisions with irrational decisions. There is like a chain that happens when you do these things to be valued by people. But when you know your value, find your value in God, then you no longer need the surroundings. The surroundings no longer affect you. When I came to the church, when I started to get to know the Word of God, what the colleagues said in the church, in the school, what my family members spoke as well, what my cousins would say, it didn't enter in me anymore. No more. I became a totally different person. The surroundings didn't change, but my inside changed completely. And I want you to have this experience. But for you to have this experience, you have to make God the center of your life. And that's when you become a virtuous woman. That's my invitation for you. Now you see here at the bottom of the screen, you see here the book, The View Woman. I strongly advise you for you to read about it, because that speaks more in depth about this topic and other topics about the Proverbs 31. By the way, when you learn to value yourself, you value as well even the small things that you have, the little things that you have. You start to appreciate the little things you have. You start to appreciate your husband. You don't compare your husband with someone else's husband. You start to appreciate your children. You don't compare your children with someone else, but you appreciate everything because you are fulfilled inside. You are you know who you are. You appreciate yourself. Then you can pass it on, and that's why your light does not go down out by night. Okay, make God the centerpiece of your life. Now, reminding you, tomorrow we have our Godlywood self-help meeting at 2 p.m. Saturday in Tagalog, right? And Sunday as well, in the main sanctuary in Tagalog, in the Chinese sanctuary in English with Chinese subtitles. Okay, may God bless you, and I will see you this weekend in our Godlywood self-help meeting. Don't miss it. Bye-bye now.
Today, I'm here to challenge you to become a woman who knows her worth.
A woman who values her feminine essence, her education, and her purpose.
A woman who is not shaken by what others say because she knows her calling.
One who has never meant to follow the pattern of this world. That's why she called something greater. Who finds in faith the courage to overcome any difficulty. And stand firm because her trust is in God.
Do you accept the challenge? Join us this weekend, August 2 and 3 at 2 p.m. the Godlywood Self-Help Meeting. See you!
Has this program been of help for you? Feel free to share with someone who also will benefit from watching it. You feel free to press the share button, and if you want, you can like it and leave your comments below. God bless.